Hello, it is Devi Maisha, your sensual embodiment expert, coming to you live on Monday and talking about why self-care alone is not, it's just not going to really solve your pleasure problems. I'm so glad to see the ladies doing the meditation and going on like the goddess retreats and finally dipping into their bodies and learning to relax, relate, release, and all the talk about nervous systems. Yes, absolutely. More of that, please. And it's not the answer. So I'm going to talk about what is the answer to your overworked, overstimulated brain that just will not shut off, even if you're in the midst of sex. Because we really want your brain to shut off during sex, and we want your body to turn completely on. So again, if you don't know who I am, my name is Devi Maisha. I am the owner of Sensual Energy Alchemy, and I'm here to show you how you can stop faking orgasms and how sex can be exciting again, and that can happen within 90 days. So, why self-care alone doesn't work? Let's take a look at my notes. So, how many times have you been told that you are stressed? How many times have you felt burnt out, overwhelmed, disconnected from yourself? And so you take bubble baths, you go get a massage, you light a candle, you book a whole spa day, and yet you still feel overwhelmed, stressed out, burnt out. A week later, you are right back where you started. And so you start this cycle of trying to find an escape in the self-pleasure, hoping that that's going to cure you from the burnout and the overwhelm. And if self-care is not working, then what will? Pleasure. But let's break it down, because pleasure is really broad, right? Pleasure doesn't give you anything. So here's why. Point one, self-care isn't working because it's an event. It's not a way of living. Pleasure is a way of living. Self-care are the things that you do in order to create the pleasure. But the goal is pleasure. And the root of pleasure is to be pleased. For your body to be pleased. Now, I believe in sensual pleasure, meaning what you see, smell, taste, hear, touch. I always feel like I'm forgetting one. Your senses, that's part of your sensuality. So your pleasure, your being pleased comes from your senses, which comes from your body. So we're talking about you being pleased in your body. And the self-care, these are events that happen. The bubble bath, the massage, the spa day, the retreat. These are events, but we want the events to create a canopy of pleasure in your life instead of this being something that you try and squeeze in or fit in throughout your day. Because if your mani-pedi is self-care, but you're rushing to it because you've got a calendar stacked full of things, there's no real pleasure involved there. And the mani-pedi really just becomes a task on your to-do list. And it doesn't have the full effect of bringing pleasure to your body. It doesn't have the full effect of allowing you space to relax your body. And when your body's not relaxed, it's difficult to have orgasms. And I'm going to give you a few ways that you can start to create space to have orgasmic pleasure. Just a couple of simple things that you can do in order to create more orgasmic pleasure for yourself. So, point two, self-care doesn't change your standards, because you'll go and get a massage every month and everyone else's needs will still come before yours. You will go on an amazing vacation, have great vacation sex, and then come back to the same patterns, come back to doing the same routine at home that prevents you from having vacation sex on a random Tuesday while you're home. And really, we want to bring vacation sex into your regular life so that it's no longer vacation sex. It's just sex while you're on vacation, right? But we don't want it to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so relaxed on a vacation that I can have the sex, and when I go back home, my body's all closed off. We want to create space for all of it. So if you've got standards, if you have standards for pleasure, if your standard is I take care of everyone else first and then I'll take care of me, then the self-care doesn't matter. The self-care is a small band-aid. Now, I understand for some of us, the self-care is the best we feel we can do at the time. So I don't want you to not do anything for self-care, but we want to expand beyond the self-care. We want to take the bubble bath and not just make it an event. We want to carry the feeling. I want you to think about when you're in the bubble bath or when you're at the spa. Just take a moment and close your eyes and just see yourself there. What is your body feeling? What's going on with your mind? Because the goal is to bring that state of being relaxed. The goal is to bring that quieter mind out of the spa, out of the massage place, out of the meditation, and just into your regular daily life. And that's how you start to create pleasure. So instead of self-care just being events, we really want to create rituals of pleasure that can keep you in that state longer, because the longer you stay in that state of pleasure, the better your chances are of having the most delicious orgasms ever. And that's really what we're looking at here. We want you to have the most delicious orgasms ever. Point 3, your body needs consistency and not occasional relief, which takes us back to what I just said. We want to create long-lasting change in the pleasure, in the sensual pleasure, in your body being pleased. So if your self-care ritual involves you going to get a mani-pedi, we don't want the mani-pedi to be this event that happened between 9 and 11 a.m. on a Saturday. How are you feeling at the mani-pedi? I went and got a manicure while I was in DC that had my whole entire body melt. Like the way she touched my legs and my feet, I just like, I could feel me just like all of me just melt and just like, just quiet down. It was the best experience I'd had with a mani-pedi in so long. There was just a gentleness to it. And I felt like I was floating on air after, because I kept that feeling with me. I didn't leave it in the chair. It stayed with me. It informed how I walked when I left the pedicure spot, like the nail spot. It showed up with me when I ordered my food at the restaurant that I went to after. I didn't just leave the mani-pedi as an event. It informed how my body was pleased, so it became part of my pleasure. So I've gotten away from the pleasure standard. So again, your body needs consistency and not occasional relief. You want these small moments of listening. You want these moments of receiving, and you want these moments where you are honoring your body's yes and your body's no. And we can do that in the moments of self-care. But again, we want to take self-care out of just being a thing you do and into a standard that you have of how your body is going to be pleased in the world. And I really want you to start thinking about your body being pleased sensually. I really want you to hold that and start imagining what that would look like for your body. So, if you've ever wondered why self-care alone didn't work, it's because it was a one-off. It didn't create a standard of pleasure for you. It didn't create longer moments for you. You didn't take the feeling of what you were doing out with you. You left it there, and we don't want to leave it there at the event. So how does this lead to better sex? When you are sensually pleased, again, senses have to do with the body. So your body pleased, being pleasure, being pleased, well pleased. So your body is well pleased. When your body is in that state, it is able to receive orgasmic pleasure without even trying. It's not something you even have to think about. Your body will naturally be relaxed. So I'm going to give you a few ways that you can start to get your body into this well-pleased state, into this sensual pleasure state. Because the quality of your sex life is a direct correlation of the quality of your sex life directly correlates to the type of relationship you have with your body. And when you have that sensual pleasure in your body, the quality of your orgasms is automatically going to go up. So, 3 things you can do today for better sex. And I'm going to do a live stream on each of these, I think, and break them down even more. 1, ask yourself one question before sex. Ask yourself, what does my body want right now? Don't ask yourself what your partner wants. They can tell you, you can have that conversation, but don't ask yourself, what does my partner want? Ask you first, what does my body need in this moment? And then you want to be able to communicate that to your partner. What does my body want right now? What does it need? Does it need kissing? Does it need hugs? Does it need penetration? Do I want to be eaten out? Do I want conversation? What is it that my body needs right now? That's the first thing that you can ask yourself in order to start having better sex. Number 2, slow down. Slow down the kissing, slow down the breathing, slow down the way you talk, slow down your walk, slow down the hugs, slow down on looking each other's eyes for like 60 seconds. Remember on Scandal when Fitz and Olivia would look in each other's eyes for just 1 minute? Do that for just 1 minute. Slowing down the body allows you to begin to feel more pleasure in your body. And the 3rd, find one moment of pleasure before you even get to the bedroom. If you're drinking tea, really enjoy it. If you're putting on lingerie, take your time. If you're in that bubble bath, really enjoy the bubbles. Just take it all in, whatever it is that you're doing before you even have sex. Really be engaged with it. So those are 3 things that you can do in order to create better sex for yourself that are part of self-care. But it is not the self-care alone. The self-care are the things that you do. The pleasure is the umbrella. But you want to take how you're feeling in the events of self-care. And you want to bring that with you throughout the rest of the day, throughout the rest of your week. So don't just leave the spa and just leave it there. Take it with you. When you're kissing, slow it down. Don't just take the bubble bath and get out and you're just going to get back to whatever it is that you're doing. When you're putting the lingerie on after, slow it down. It all ties together. And it all ties together in order to create more pleasure in your body. Sensual pleasure. The more sensual pleasure you have, the easier it is for you to have orgasms, which means you can finally stop faking them shits. And sex will be exciting for you again. And it can happen in less than 90 days. So if you're interested in getting to that space where you're really enjoying the orgasmic pleasure that your body has to offer, go ahead and DM me the word CALL, C-A-L-L, or you can click the link in my bio to go ahead and get on my calendar. Thank you for being patient with me. I was on a coaching call, which is why I was not live at 4 p.m. today. Love my business coach. Shout out to her. And I will be back on here and see you next time. Take care. Bye.